Hi, this is IK Handel. Welcome back to part 7 in the series. Carrying on with one quick tip which will help with your workflow, not just for rigging but with TS in general. Here's my tip for this video. If you come down to your object select icon and right mouse click on it, it'll bring you up the info panel. If you now left mouse click on the little white box at the top, you've got the option to save layout. So there's a third way that you can save your layout. Okay, let's move on to the rigging again. At the minute, if we wanted to pose this rig, we so far have been using Dynapose and then left mouse and dragging on the rotation. But as you can see, there's a problem. If I rotate this, it's actually going to go through the floor. Now, it can be fixed. I can come down to here and I can rotate this joint. I can come down to here and I can rotate this joint. So we now have the pose that we were after in the first place. But as you can see, I've had to actually rotate 3 separate joints. This is called forward kinematics, or FK for short. And basically how it works is based on the rotation of the joint that you select, the positions in world space for all these other joints are mathematically worked out, and those joints are then put there in order that this can rotate. But as you can see, that gives you a problem when you come to near the floor or whatever. There is an alternative called inverse kinematics, where basically you select, for example in this case, the ankle, move the ankle, and all the other joints do rotate in order to accommodate the position of this ankle. Let me show you how inverse kinematics, or IK for short, works. If you left mouse click on the Add Modify Inverse Kinematics Handle tool, click on the ankle, you've just built an IK handle. An IK handle is one end of a chain, and you need to tell the software where the other end of the chain is, and in this case we want that to be the hip up here. To tell it where the other end of the chain is, there needs to be a lock. And there are 3 types of lock. There's a position lock, which is signified by this blue cone, a rotation lock signified by this red sphere, and the combination of the 2, which is a full lock, which is this purple cube. In this particular example, what I'd like to do is keep the hip in the same place but able to rotate, and then be able to move this ankle and all the joints in between, which in this case would be the knee, mathematically would be worked out. So I'm going to left mouse click on Add Position Lock and then left mouse click on the hip. Now at the minute, these 2 items, the lock and the IK handle, don't know about each other. I need to be able to associate them with each other. And to do that, I left mouse click on the Add Modify IK Handle tool, left mouse click to select the IK handle, and left mouse click on the position lock. As you see, the position lock turns green, which means it's activated. And now every time I select this handle, this position lock will be activated. Now the behavior is like so. Where I place my handle is where the ankle will be. Now it's not perfect, as you can see, but we're halfway there. Let me show you how we can sort this out further. If you right mouse click on your IK handle, it'll bring you up your options for your default options for the IK handle. I'll just left mouse click with control and drag it over here so we can have a better look. Now these are the default settings every time you set up an IK handle. Initially what I'd like you to do, I'll explain it later, is I'd like you to uncheck Use Global Locks, uncheck Posing Only, and slide the interpolation from full FK to full IK. Now, if you take a look at the foot, when I lift this up and down, you'll see that the foot is wandering about. Obviously this isn't going particularly anywhere that we've specified, so we want to be able to sort this out. How do we do that? The option Lock Children effectively what it says is anything which is lower in the hierarchy, bearing in mind we built this leg from the top down to the toe, so anything lower than this in the hierarchy, a child of this in other words, which in this case are these two bones here, stays locked. So let's try that. Now if we move the IK handle, you'll see that the angle of the bottom two bones doesn't change. It may not be the angle that we want. Let's just tweak that just temporarily in dynapose mode. Now we come into normal object mode, select the IK handle, and you'll see that that's staying the same. This is IK. Basically the mathematics is working in reverse from FK. It is saying in order for this ankle to be in this position in 3D space and this hip to be in this position, where would this joint need to bend? What would the angle need to be in order to achieve these two goals? That is IK. Now, let's go through a couple more of these. The left mouse button motion basically is fairly self-explanatory. Do you want it to move in world X, Y, world Z, etc.? I would try a few of those, both the left and the right mouse button, and you'll see the effect that it has. The shape is the actual shape of the IK handle, so in this case let's change it to a circle, etc. You can have a go with some of those. If you double left click on the color swatch, you can change the color of the handle, in this case to red. Speed versus quality is basically the mathematics going on behind this and the update of the screen. Do we want it to be faster or higher quality? Personally, I always put it to higher quality. The interpolation, FK or IK. This is an IK handle, and basically if you look at the ankle, it's moving in a straight line from here to here. If I was to keyframe, in other words to save this position, a pose, and then save this pose, to make an animation, the computer would automatically work out all the positions and set the frames in between. This would be a straight line. This would move in a straight line in my finished animation. However, as I showed you with forward kinematics, the leg would move in an arc shape because it's based on arcs. So if I have this slider set fully to FK, even though what I'm seeing here is a straight line motion, it would actually save it in an arc, more than likely probably an arc something like this, and the finished animation. To avoid confusion, I would keep this fully on IK. Posing only does exactly the same thing. If posing only is selected as on, what it's saying is do not transfer IK information to animation from keyframe to keyframe, so it will only come out as FK, which is the arcs. Again, I would leave this off as an option to keep things simple. The firm handle option, what that does is at the minute, by moving an IK handle, what I am saying is try and place this bone, let me just move in a bit here and make this more obvious for you. Try and place this ankle bone where I am dragging the handle to. Now as you can see, I've got it way up here and there's a line being drawn and the ankle isn't up there. The reason for that is if you look at the angle of this, you'll see that this is only allowed to bend back up to here, and so it cannot possibly reach this point. So this is where I'm asking it to go and it's saying no, I can't go there. My joint limits won't allow me to go there. And this line here signifies the distance away from the maximum position that the rig is allowed to go. There is a way of altering this, which is the firm handle option. Now if I drag, you'll notice that the handle will stay, the ankle will follow the IK handle, but it's at the expense of this position lock being broken up here. So you'll get your ankle exactly where you want, but it's breaking this position lock here. Okay, we'll call it a day for now on this tutorial, and I'll see you on section 8 for more on IK handles, locks, etc. Cheers, IK Handel.